Hey everyone, good evening, welcome. Hope all of you are able to see my screen and can hear me. Can I have a confirmation, please?
Yes, yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right, basically, I'm not a presentation guy in general. I don't like to go with the presentation, but when if it is really essential, only in that scenarios I'll proceed with. I truly believe this is one of the essential thing. That's the reason today I'll start with the presentations. Okay, but nevertheless, I want the session to be engaging. So I request all of you, please have please ask questions. You don't need to wait for Q&As or you don't need to wait for anything. At any point of time, if you have any question, please start asking it. That is the first thing that I wanted to talk. And then I presume that whoever are going to be part of the session today, I presume all of you are at least know me a little, at least. If not, maybe quickly I take 2 minutes of time just to introduce myself. You all know me. If not, my name is Murali Krishna, and I have total of around 17 years of experience in IT and 3 years of experience in the teaching as a lecturer. My career started as a lecturer. I am working with one of the reputed bank in across the globe, one of the best bank across the world. With that, I'm working right now. Throughout my career, I worked with different organizations under different domains. My first company was Amazon, where I was into the retail. And then I started working with United Health Group, where I worked in the healthcare domain. Then I worked with CapG. In the CapG, I worked in two different domains. That is where I got a bit of introduction and I got hands-on with this clinical. There I worked in both banking as well as in clinical, right? And then the next one is going to be JP Morgan and Chase, again a banking one. Currently, I'm working with one of the reputed one. I'm not disclosing it, but if you at all, if you are interested to know my profile, you can see that profile in LinkedIn. My LinkedIn profile is always up to date. You can just search with Murli Krishna Tenali and you can get it, right? And I'm well versed with different programming languages, starting with you know predominantly SAS. That is my bread and butter, I can say. And I have great exposure to R and Python. These are my programming languages. I can pretty much code in a very good way in Java as well. I have exposure to various databases, be it is going to be MySQL or it is Microsoft SQL Server or it is going to be Teradata or Oracle, and even the NoSQL databases like MongoDB. This is a brief introduction about who am I, and I'm into this teaching, or I'm into this mentoring from, I can say, quite more than 10, 12 years, I can say. I have been teaching this for the various vendors, and I have now started with on my own, and it is almost like 3 to 4 years I have been on my own, right? I'm not associated with anyone. I'm on my own right now. So this is the brief introduction of your mentor. Who is this guy and what this guy is going to do means this is what I do. Okay. And I don't want to give you any boring things about why you wanted to learn R or why you wanted to switch from SAS. I don't want to give that boring things from my side, but I'll just throw the light on why R programming. I believe at least here, I believe that whoever the people are attending this particular session have done their bit of homework about why they are learning R programming. I'm expecting that at least. I believe you haven't joined this particular session just like that. You have time and you wanted to, engage this 1 hour of the time. You don't have any other work to do. That's the reason you're joining the session. I'm not thinking in that way, right? I'm confident that you did your homework and you wanted to know R, or you wanted to learn R, or you wanted to enter into this particular programming world, and you wanted to have a paradigm shift of SAS to R or Python to R, or that paradigm shift you are looking for. That is the reason you are here. That is what my belief is. Even if that is not going to be the case, but I'm still going to give you some of the pointers about why to learn R. Remember, the first, before I start with any of this, I just wanted to tell one thing very clearly. Don't have one mindset that I wanted to learn R only for, doing this. I wanted to be a clinical programmer. Since companies are asking for, R programming knowledge alongside of the SAS, that is the reason I wanted to learn CDIST. Or that is the reason I wanted to go with R programming. If that is the only motto that you have, right, change your mindset, right? R is not just for clinical, because sometime back, most of the people will be having the same mindset even for the SAS. SAS means they know only one thing, clinical SAS. SAS means clinical SAS, nothing else. That was the mindset of the people for most of the time. Even so many people will believe in that way. No, these are programming languages. These are primary languages that are used in the data analysis, data engineering, and in the data science. Especially in the data science and data analysis world, these are the primary languages. These are the leaders in that. SAS, R, and Python, right? So when you started learning with this particular one, because plenty of the people, when you are having calls with me, you said, Murli, are you going to teach clinical R only, right? There's nothing called clinical R. You are using R in clinical. There is nothing called clinical science, clinical SAS. You are going to use SAS in clinical, right? First, have that particular differentiation. Why I am saying this right here is, uh, there are thousands of content available in YouTube, Google, ChatGPT, or go with any generative AI. You have thousands of resources which are available, which are ready to use for R programming. Thousands. But remember, R is structural. It is pretty structural. Only when you go with the structural learning, you can learn this. Whatever you're talking about, one of the main reasons why people are struggling to learn R is going to have a steep learning curve. There are hundreds and thousands of materials available over the web, but nothing is comprehensive. That is the problem. Nothing is comprehensive. There is a big reason for this. That is, R is open source. Anyone tell me what is open source? Anyone?
Would able to see the source code of the program.
I know. He can see the source code of anything, to be precise.
Free. Can modify.
Exactly. Exactly. Someone said just now, free.
Yes, a free and open access.
Anything which is available for free is open source. Anything is chargeable is going to be enterprise. SAS is enterprise. It is an enterprise solution, right? Whereas R is an open source. Python is an open source. In an open source, what will happen is, to explain this particular part, I'll take a topic which we all can understand. What is the difference? Android, iOS. What is the difference? Android is open. iOS is enterprise. Am I right or not? Let's say if you know Android, if you know how to build APKs in Android, you can build one APK and you can release one application. You can put it in the Play Store. Google is going to review it because Android comes from the Google, right? They say that if there is no harm, there is no content, that content is not, violating any of the rules. In that particular case, they are going to approve it. That is the reason you are going to have hell number of applications when it comes to Android. Whereas when it comes to iOS, purely the development can be done by R&D team. Apple R&D team. Very structural, very genuine, privacy, and that's the reason that is expensive as well. Correct? Whatever iOS is releasing, only those you can access it. No third-party apps you can access it. On your own risk, being a beta developer, you can do it, but on your own risk. But when it comes to the Android, you have doors open to thousands and thousands of applications every day. So every day something new is coming. Let's say that maybe I just take some names. Let's say I have Abhilash here. Abhilash using two different apps which got released today. Ajay is using one of the app which got released yesterday, but I don't know what these three apps are. That's the reason in the Instagram, people are, keep posting this. Hey, you might be surprised that you don't know these apps. Yes, I'm surprised I don't know these apps really. Correct? Right? Every day something new is coming. Are you able to cope up? No, no way. You become exhausted. The same is the case with R. R has no boundaries. When you say SAS, base and advanced SAS together, I can learn within 8 modules. I can become expertise is going to be difficult. That is going to be different. Expertise can be coming. You keep practicing it. You keep looking at the different scenarios. Then you can become an expert. But understanding of the SAS can be done within the 8 modules. Module 1 to module 8 done. But when it comes to the R, why people are struggling is every day something is new is coming because advanced functionality is coming. Hundreds of users are contributing the packages on day in, day out. So it is very difficult to catch up. So what is the problem now? Since R is coming for free of cost, since R is an open source, since there are a lot of people who are contributing with the packages every day, what you need for your work is difficult to understand. Hunting for what you want is going to be a time consuming in R. It is very hard to get a clarity and it is very hard to get an overview of what procedures that are available in R. That is the reason we are going to learn R in a structural way. That is the reason I have designed this particular program. There are plenty of people teaching R, no doubt about it. Majority of the people, what they are doing is, since R is now primarily using in the clinical, especially for the SAS programmers, they teach some basics in R. They talk about some of the packages like tidyverse and all. Then immediately they will take one TLF. They will convert the TLF in R. TLFs in R is dead easy. Dead easy. Done, your course is done. But we don't want to go in that flow. We don't want to go in that flow. We wanted to have a very structural program like how we learned SAS. We wanted to have module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, similar to R, and we wanted to have a journey. The journey has to start right from the data types to advanced programming. That is the motto of this particular program. But don't worry, I know that most of you are coming from SAS. I also ensure that at every step, in every module, we try to compare with SAS. Hey, SAS, we have these functions. If I want to do the same in R, I can do like this. Not just by creating some TLFs, we create everything. Right? Hey, I have the loops in R, loops in SAS. I'm going to do the loops in R like this. I have conditional processing, if else will be there. For loops are there, do loop, do while, do until, do over. Okay, here are the loops in R programming. SAS is having a lot of procedures, proc format, proc content, proc sort, proc GLMs, proc regression, right? Okay, here are the packages I have. There is something called tidyverse, which is going to support the entire data science universe. There is a deploy, right? There are a lot of packages which are available, what these packages are about, how to use it. I have different tools in SAS, SAS Enterprise Guide, PC SAS, SAS Studio. Okay, what you have here, R Studio and R Console, simple, right? You wanted to do from the command line prompt, go with the console. You wanted to do programming by using the graphical user interface, use R Studio. How to install them, how to use them, how to navigate them, I will explain. Right? So first, we need to have a clarity on what you are learning. The R programming that I'm talking here is purely the programming that I'm going to teach. Remember this. I already shared the syllabus with most of you, but still I'm going to flash it in some time as well. It is going to be a 2 months course. The 2 months course is completely going to talk about the programming, just like how you learned base and advanced as. Once you know base and advanced as, then you started with the CDISC, correct? SDTM, ADAM, and TLF. Same is the case here. Once you learn R programming, then you start with CDISC. In the CDISC, in SDTM, you program everything in SAS over there. In our course, once we start with the CDISC by using R, you are going to do the complete code conversion of SDTM, ADAM, and TLF in R programming. So this is the path. So what is the path now? First, we should have a good understanding about R programming. Without knowing programming, how can you code it? Once you complete with that, then we go with the CDISC. In the CDISC, we are going to start with SDTM, ADAM, and TLF. The same theory will come there. Same domains will come there. Same tables, listings, and figures will come there. But instead of implementing all of them by using the SAS, you're going to implement by using R. You're going to compare SAS and R programs over there. This is the journey. If you are from the clinical, this is your entire journey, R programming plus CDISC. If you're not coming from clinical, your interest is not clinical, you wanted to be a data scientist, you wanted to be a data analyst, right? Since SAS is decaying, let's say in my current company, we are not using SAS. We completely decommissioned SAS. We move out of SAS. We are using R, we are using Python and PySpark, right? So we are into the different world, banking world. So we prefer, because we do a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So for artificial intelligence and machine learning, Python is good. So we started using the Python and its API called PySpark. If you are into the research world, right? If you are doing more of the research, you prefer to go ahead with R programming, though you are not part of the clinical. So the first thing is, I'm not going to teach clinical R, I'm teaching R programming, which is going to cover the requirements of any guy who wanted to be a data analyst or a data scientist or a pure R programmer. Is that clear? Is the requirement clear to all of you? Can I have a confirmation? Yes or no? Right? This is very essential to understand what you are going to learn. I don't want to simply fool you saying that I'm going to teach this, that, and all. Finally, just do some basic TLF. I don't want to do that. I wanted to have it as a very structural one. Questions? All right. You can ask, you can stop me anywhere and you can ask the question. You can simply unmute and you can ask. Okay. Having said that, let's start with some basics. Why you want to learn R? I know that you've done your analysis already, but still, I'm learning R because companies are moving from SAS to R, especially clinical. Why? SAS is expensive, R is free. That is the first reason, right? Anything coming for free is going to save a lot of my capital, lot of money saving. That is the primary requirement. So that's the reason I'm going with R. First thing. Number two, just like SAS, just like Python, R is also one of the programming language which can run on any operating system, be it is Windows, be it is Unix, be it is going to be Mac OS, that is Apple OS. Anything, any of the operating system, it works. Number three, whoever is into the stats world, especially the stats world, the statisticians, they are going to get the best packages in the world. The kind of packages which are not available in SAS, the kind of packages which are not available in Python, but those are available in R. Such kind of advanced statistical packages and routines are available in R. That is the reason it is going to be the first choice for statisticians. Number four, a picture can speak 1,000 words. So most of the time we wanted to create the infographics. We wanted to pass the information with the help of the visuals. It is the best, one of the best packages available for representing the graphs, representing the infographics. These are some of the reasons why people wanted to learn R. I don't want to go with any other boring stuff saying that this is easy, that package is that, this package is that. No. Primarily, it's free. It can run on any operating system. Statistical programmers are going to be very comfortable with this because I have the plenty of packages which are going to meet my requirement. Finally, whatever I want to represent graphically, the visual part, the visualization part is going to be very easy when it comes to R. That is the reason I'm preferring to go with R. But what are the challenges? I have already told to you, R is going to have a steep learning curve, right? Because I told you already, there are thousands of videos are available, there are thousands of resources are available, but nothing is comprehensive. Every day in out, there are developers who are keep on updating the packages. It is very difficult for you to identify what is required, what is not required for your work. Identifying what is learned, what you want to learn is the first problem. To cross that hurdle itself, you are going to take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and you give up. That is what plenty of you are doing it. Correct or not? First problem is, if I know what to learn, it is going to be easy. But what to learn itself is going to be a problem. It is just like Java. Today someone says Spring, so tomorrow someone says Hibernate, then the other day it is going to say Beans, then the other day people are going to call it as JetBeans. But for everything, the base is core Java. But core Java is not sufficient. If I want to go to advanced Java, every day one new thing is coming. What to learn? What to learn? Same problem. Here also the same. First of all, identifying what is required for me itself is a big problem. So that is the reason we are going with this. Second, plenty of you, I feel that you are in the SAS already. I want to do some clustering, guys. I want to do some modeling. What do you do in SAS? Let's say I want to do GLM. What do? I simply run a prog GLM. I'm going to get 4 or 5 pages of the output results here. I'm going to see what is required. I'm going to drop the remaining one. Correct or not? All you're going to do is you supply your parameters. You run a program, that is your procedure, you are going to run it. Then you are going to see the output. In the output, you just look at what is required, what is not required. Whatever is not required, you are going to drop it. SAS is simple. SAS is very easy. Till today, I'm telling you, one of the simplest language to learn is SAS. The same thing, if I want to do it in R, it is not like that. You run one program, it is going to show you one output. From that output, to pick what you want, you are going to do another method. You are going to import another method and you are going to do. Whatever you got, the final result, if you want to visualize it, you are going to bring some more packages and methods, then you are going to get the final data. Nothing is straightforward in R. The paradigm shift is very, very difficult. The paradigm is going to be very, very difficult. Just a second, I have a question. Okay, as some of us are from the pharmacy background, is understanding R going to be challenging? Okay, the question is, learning R is challenging or not? Okay, if you compare with SAS, R is difficult. Compare to SAS, R is difficult. There are plenty of reasons for that. The first reason is, whenever we want to see the data, how do we, okay, the moment the word data you hear, what do you visualize? Data means a table. This is how we visualize, right? In SAS, the data is in tables. Easy to correlate. Easy to correlate. Now, but when it comes to Python or when it comes to R program, the data never going to be in tables. You call it something called data frames. The data frames for looking, it is not that good. The data frames are not direct to tables. It is slightly different. Second, in SAS, everything that the language, the code itself is easy to see. Even the person who have zero knowledge in SAS can easily understand it. But when it comes to R, it is not that way. First itself, you need to understand environment variables, packages. What package you need itself is going to be a different thing. That is the reason it is slightly difficult to compare to SAS. But irrespective of that, if you have a fresh slate in your head, let's say that your slate is not written with anything, then it is not difficult. It is not difficult. When you feel difficulties, right from day one, you started comparing with what you know. Let's say that, hey, in SAS, I do like this. Can I do the same in R? If you start doing that, you feel difficult. Don't do that. So to answer your question straight, I don't say it is difficult, but I don't say blindly that it is easy as well. You need to put your effort. Since you're saying that you're completely coming from the pharma background, if you don't have programming knowledge prior to this, you need to put an extra effort. But I will guide you what is the effort that is required. My classes are like spoon feeding. I can definitely tell you my classes are going to be like a spoon feeding. I can help you in a best possible way that you can understand. If you don't understand something, ask me n number of times. I can tell you n plus number of times. I teach you in n plus number of ways. I'll ensure that that will register in your mind. But if you don't practice, not me, anyone can help you. Answer to your question, moderately difficult. It is not difficult as Java. It is not difficult. It is not easy as SAS. It is in middle. It is in middle, right? Putting some extra effort, definitely we can master in it. Have I answered your question? Abhilash, right? Now,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, perfect. Now, I don't want to give any false information. That's the first thing I wanted to make sure, right? Second, there is another question from Gopi. Why, even though Python exists from long time, R is in limelight for any reason? That is a myth. That is a myth. Okay, but I'll also answer this in a different way while talking about the facts, right? In data analytical world, we are all dealing with the data. In the data analytics world, there are going to be three main languages. Three main languages. One is going to be SAS, that we all know. The second one is going to be Python. The third one is going to be R. Now, Gopi, are saying that, hey, Murli, Python is there from quite a long time, but why R is in the limelight? It is exactly the reverse. It is exactly the reverse. Because you are into the clinical world, so you are looking at R. You are looking at R because R is primarily built for stats. This is primarily built for statistics and statistics modeling and academics. Same as SAS. But the thing is, SAS is expensive, enterprise. This is enterprise, but R is free. But both of them primarily decide for stats, right? But when it comes to Python, it is very, very, very popular when it comes to artificial intelligence and machine learning. Very popular. It is too versatile. You can use in any way of your choice. It is too versatile, I can say, too versatile, right? And if I come across, a 2024 July survey, latest survey, in the world of data analytics, if you wanted to see how productive these three are, you know what? R is at 20%. 20% of the population are effectively using R. Can you tell me what is the ratio of SAS and Python? Anyone? Can you give a guess? What is SAS? How much is SAS? Python, R, I'm saying 20. How much is SAS? Anyone can give a guess?
30, sir.
30. Very good. Anyone?
40.
Give a guess. No, nothing you are going to lose. Okay. I'm not sure why you are too shy, but tell me, it is only 10 to 15%. What I'm saying? In the world of data analytics, right? The SaaS occupation is only 10 to 15%. See where we are living. We are in a small well, right? R is 20%. Can you imagine the volume of Python? It is 65% literally. Python is the one which is literally dominating the data analytics world because now everyone is talking about generative AI, large language models, machine learning models. Everything is building in Python only. Research work, statistical work are. I want a comfortable, secure, best support, but still I'm okay with, though it is highly expensive than SAS. SAS is capable of doing both what Python and R is able to do. It is capable, but only thing is cost. Only thing is cost. Same like iPhone and Android phone. Same like that, right? Why iPhones are expensive? Very expensive. The only reason is going to be support, the brand value, right? Android phones, even you can get it for the 10,000 with almost same features. Almost same feature. You can get it in 10K. Whereas Apple iPhone, if I want to get it, I need to put 1.5L. The reason is,
Sir,
yeah,
sir, like you said, that that is very costly, right?
Hmm.
So, will it be good for a new user to learn that?
it is
Who is a
not
fresher?
about that.
Who is
No. I understand your question, but let me talk about this in a different way. Okay, let's say, Krishnan, you are the fresher. Let's say you are a fresher, right? There are three things available: R, Python, and SAS. How do you decide which one you are going to learn?
I don't know because I'm a fresher. First I have to read.
No,
I need.
I don't. Okay, maybe your way of thinking is like that. But if I am the one, I'll not think which one is going to be coming for free of cost, which one is going to be having more features. No, I'll think in a different way. Which is having the good market first? Where the openings are there? Where I can see the career growth? These three parameters I'll see. Everyone view is different. Everyone view is different. If you're someone, hey, I wanted to live only for learning. Learning is my key, not the salary, not the work-life balance, not how I wanted to grow in the next year. These are not matters to me. What fuels me, what makes me to feel happy is the learning, right? Then I prefer to go with R or Python because there are plenty of things to learn. I choose any one of it, whichever is going to be more comfortable for me.
So the reason I raised the question is that arrow mark, career path, and
I'll come
number
to
of
that. I'll come to that, Gopi. Let me answer Krishnan question first. Krishnan, being a fresher, again, I'm telling to you, if you are a fresher, your first thing is going to be you want to crack a job. Am I right or not? The first thing
Absolutely right, sir.
I'll look at this is that, right? I'll see what is giving me the good opportunities, where the market is currently going with. I'll do some analysis. Then to that, what the people are asking. Suppose if I'm coming from B pharmacy, M pharmacy, B stat, all this kind of stuff, for me, all these days, SAS is the one. To enter into the IT, SAS is the one. Now people are asking for SAS plus R programming. Though R is not officially approved by FDA yet, people are doing the POCs, it is not officially approved yet. But still, since cost effectiveness, all these things that you are looking, people are converting all the TLFs in that and they are doing the POCs in ADAM and STTM. So having R programming knowledge is going to be an added advantage. So since I already know this, I started learning this. That is how I look at it. Let's say I'm not into the clinical. I'm not into the clinical at all, right? I'm a fresher. Let's say I'm a BTech fresh graduate from CSC or IT background. Now the market is all about data analyst. Market is all about data engineering. Market is all about LLMs, large language models, ChatGPT, right? Generative AI, simply I want to say. So my concentration is on Gen AI. If I wanted to learn Gen AI, I need the support. Prompt engineering, I need to also go ahead with the programming languages. The modern programming language is going to be Python. Blindly, I'll start learning Python. I'll see the market. I'll see my educational background. I'll see how I want to progress. These three things are going to define what I want to learn. Right?
Thanks. Right, sir.
Yeah. Now, Gopi, your question. R versus Python. It is a never-ending debate. It's a never-ending debate, right? But having said that, just now I told to you, these two are equally good. Market occupation for Python is going to be high because it is going to cover the industries like banking, healthcare, what I can call it as finance sector or retail sector, all other sectors it is covering. Wherever in the data science, apart from clinical, if I look at in the data science where the models are coming, where I'm using for research purpose, there R is coming. So overall market wise, when you look at it, compared to the R and Python, Python is having the larger share. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. If you are looking for banking or healthcare or any other industry than clinical, you can blindly go with Python. Career growth is very good. This is future, no doubt about it. This is future. Python plus GenAI is the future. If you're not coming from the clinical background, sorry, if you're coming from the clinical background, right, you want to penetrate, and if you want to see your, how you want to progress for the next 4-5 years, then R is the one that you need to look at. That is how you need to differentiate these two. Am I clear, Gopi? It is not, anytime it is not blind or straightforward choice what I want to learn. It is a mix and a match. I need to look at multiple parameters, then only we take a decision. But generally we don't do that. We don't do any analysis. We don't do market surveys. We don't look at we don't listen to any of the, what I can call it as podcast. We don't do all this. We do what our friends are doing. We do what our seniors are doing. We follow what our relatives, our seniors are telling. That is one way is good, but you have to take only 10% of the input. 80%, 90% of the input should come from your analysis. You need to analyze the market. You need to look at the job portals. What is the best fit for you, for your career? You need to decide. Am I clear? Can I have a confirmation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. So why our paradigm is different, we understand. Now, let's talk a little about how the R started, when it is started. We all know that R started recently. No, R is not recent. R actually come in 1990. This is the place where R actually come, 1990. Before R, there are two programming languages. We call it as S and S+. Actually, these started 1976. But we don't need a history, because history will not help us anywhere. Just to see the facts, just to see from where it is. Let's say if you want to join a college, there are two engineering colleges. One is going to be 2016 established, another one is 96 established. Our mind started thinking about 1996 college because it is a veteran college. It is a reputed college. It is there from quite long. Correct? The same is the case. Just to see, from when this language is exist, I just wanted to say that it is from 1990, almost 35 years. Correct or not? But origin is going to be 1976. The entire R programming has been written and developed by using the C programming language. Most of the people, that, right? Even if you're talking about Python, even if you talk about the R and all, most of them are going to be written using the either C or CPP. So it is written in the C language, right? You can see C++, C++ and all, right? So R is going to be used for almost whatever you know about the SAS. In the same way, you can use R also, right? It is one of the very well developed language. Okay, I have seen R shiny requirements on job postings. Is it R that they are referring to? Okay. Same question also I had, like advantages of R over Python and why CDS people incorporated SAS with R. Okay, it is clear already. Okay, maybe Abhilash, I'll answer your question. I have seen R shiny requirements. Too early to talk, but definitely we'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it. Okay. R shiny, yeah, we will talk.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe just we try to put some light on this, but anyways, why to skip? Let's start talking about this particular one. See, Shiny is a web framework. Shiny is not something directly from R. It's not directly from R, right? Shiny, you can use it with R. Shiny, you can use it with Python as well. To be precise, if someone asks me what exactly the Shiny is, it is a web framework for developing web applications. Initially, I think sometime back before 2001, 2002 and all, sorry, 2021, 22 and all, they did Shiny in R. Now, from 2022 onwards, from past 2 years, everyone is using this with the help of Python, right? Actually, there is an organization, the organization name is called POSIT, P-O-S-I-T. The CTO of that POSIT is none other than RStudio CTO before. The guy who was part of RStudio, right, came out of R, and then he created one organization called POSIT. There he started a web framework for developing the web applications. You call that particular one as Shiny. If anyone interested in that, just hit Shiny in the Google. It is going to take you shiny.posit.com. There you can see two different tracks. You don't require any web development skills. If you know basics of R or basics of Python, you can start developing your applications. It is a framework, guys, right? Abhilash, it's just a framework. You might be knowing, Java people. Let's say if you want to develop Java, you can write your code in Notepad, or you can write your code in Eclipse, or you can write your code in IntelliJ. IntelliJ and Eclipse are going to be your frameworks. Similarly, Shiny is one of the framework for R. Am I clear?
Yes.
Cool, wonderful. So R, if I
Just
want,
like just like a R Studio, we are doing R
yes.
programming in R Studio.
Yes, exactly.
So,
You can
okay.
you can go to Shiny, you can import all your packages because it's a free one. It is also a free one, right? You can simply download, or you can import all your R packages in that, and you can start programming in that. Just
Yes,
another
yes.
graphical user interface, a framework. But compared to R Studio, it is visually so good. It is visually so good. Right? That's the reason some of the companies will start using it. We'll do one thing. Maybe at one stage, maybe we'll start using Shiny also. We just download it. It's a free one. We can download it and we can start programming in that. Right? You can do Python programming in Shiny. You can also do this, what I can call it as R programming in Shiny. Both of them we can do. All right. Installation also damn easy, guys. Just you need to install one package. That's it. There is a Shiny package itself. You just install it and it will start using it. All right. Okay, then we need to understand this piece. What R can do, what R cannot do. If you are clear with this, everything will be clear. What R will do is, we all know, I can go ahead with, I can handle the data, numeric data, character data. I can create the matrix. I can create the vectors. I can do the regular expressions. I can create hive tables, hash tables, high-level data analytics, statistical functions, object-oriented programming, graphics, loops, conditional processing, everything what SAS and Python can do, we can do it in R. One of the biggest problem, SAS does not have any data. Sorry, R does not have any database. It is not a database, right? So SAS create a SAS table, SAS dataset. I told you at the beginning, easy. I can see a table. R cannot have a database. You can connect to the various databases and bring the data. You can connect to various databases and load the data, right? But R doesn't have a database. Everything you are going to do in the help of the data frames only, DFs. Right? Now, no graphical exclusive interfaces, right? But you can connect to Java, you can connect to another programming languages. Biggest problem. This is the third one, is the biggest problem. If you write any program, your program need to be compiled, your program need to be interpreted, then only it will be executed. That is the behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, because let's say I know Hindi, let's say I know Tamil and you don't know Tamil. Let's say that you are good in Hindi, I'm good in Tamil. Let's say that. If I speak in Tamil, you cannot understand. Someone has to interpret it to you. Someone has to convert that in a language that you can understand. Computer can understand machine level language only, zeros and ones. So an interpreter is the one which is going to do that particular work. The R interpretation is very slow. It is very slow. Time consuming one. That is the biggest problem with the R. right? R also does not have spreadsheets. That's okay. That's not good. That's not going to be a big problem. But where this problem will come is, if you load an Excel in SAS, you can nicely see in a table format, tabular format. But in R, you can connect to the CSVs, you can connect to the CSVs and Excels, you can either import and export it. But the biggest problem is you cannot see it like a spreadsheet. You cannot see like an Excel. That is the big problem, right? If you have some problem in SAS, not like the SAS that we are using, or not the WODA, that is nothing but what I can call it as on demand for academics, which is a free version of SAS. Plenty of you might be using SAS Enterprise Guide PC SAS, which are going to be the pirated versions. If you are using in your own PC, definitely it's a pirated version. You don't buy it, correct? If you're using in Office PC, yes, your Office is going to buy a license for you. SAS license is very expensive, right? So if you buy a licensed version of SAS, if any problem comes, you can drop an email to SAS, you can call them, even they will come to your office and they fix the issue. If there is no support available, they will inform their R&D team, they will do the research and development, and they will release a new version to you. That is the level of support SAS will have. For that support, you are paying them. That is called enterprise version, right? Or having lot of network, thousands and thousands of developers are there. There is no professional support. No one is going to come and help you until and unless they are willing to help. And whatever, let's say that if you are having some problem, I say that I'm expert in R and I can help you, but there is no authenticity. Who is going to authenticate you that I'm a good R programmer? How do you know that I'm able to fix your problem? I may steal your data. I may insert some malware to you. Who knows that? No professional or commercial support. This is the first part that you all need to understand. That is the reason still companies are little afraid, little hesitant to go with R. But at one point now we are in a situation that that's okay. No professional support is there. I can get it help from someone, or I do something and I can fix it, rather than shelling thousands and thousands of dollars to SAS. That is the mindset of the companies now. That is the reason R and Python is booming now. Clear? Right? R and statistics, a deadly package, deadly combination, favorite combination. Why means R works smoothly for the statistics. Many statistical researchers, the people who are the researchers, instead of writing their code in anything, they are going to create the R packages. That level of comfort the researchers will have for the stats, for the R programming. That is the reason R is penetrating nicely when it comes to the clinical. Clinical is all about the stats, right? Analysis and stats, right? So that's the reason R is going very well with statistical world, especially for the clinical world, right? In addition to that, we all do this data analysis. If you want to do the presentations, that is nothing but preparing the reports graphically, infographics, all this we can do. All the models it is going to support. Plenty of you will not use this. Some of the linear and GLMs we are going to use in the clinical. Regression models we are going to do. Time series is going to be part of your machine learning, right? Clustering and smoothing we are going to do it in the clinical also. Clinical also we do, right? And you can you know that the best part of R is, if there is a function which is available for you, you can use it. If not, you can create your own functions. User-defined functions are going to be the biggest plus of R programming. It's the biggest plus, right? So these are some of the things I want to touch base today. But in addition to that, I'm going to spend my time, maybe the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the time, I'm going to spend to answer your queries, number one. And tomorrow what you do is, we can go ahead with a quick comparison of SAS, Python, and R. Because some of you are asking for SAS, and some of you are asking for Python, and some of you are looking for R. So we take 10 different aspects. Maybe the background, usability, cost, features, right? Then integration and, what I can call it as interoperability, or community and support, the key strengths, or the weakness, the real world applications. All these we are going to compare. At least 10 different parameters you are going to take and quickly compare R with SAS and Python. Then we can start with what are the tools that are available in R, and we can also start with the R Studio installation, and we can start with the hands-on, right? That is what we are going to do. How many of you have the syllabus? How many of you have the syllabus here?
Downloaded.
I do.
I do have seen.
I think whoever has dropped me an email, whoever has filled the form, to all of you, I have already sent it. For the people who have not received it, give me 1 second. I will flash it here. Just give me 1 second. No problem. Whoever doesn't have it, just ping me after this. I'll just share it across with you guys. And also this recording, I can share it. So you can have a look at it. Anytime you can just wanted to refer it also, you can refer it, not a problem. 1 second, please. Let me download it. It should be somewhere. Because one of the aspects that you all need to understand is what exactly you have in your, what I can call it as TOC. What you are learning is equally important, right? So I just make it as very comprehensive one. So first we start with what is your R programming. I just give you a syllabus overview. Overview of R also I'm going to provide. Course fee and all, I'm just going to talk in another 5 minutes. Let me just talk about what is here and sorry. Yeah, we just go ahead with this, and then we can go ahead with, what is the installation, R Studio walkthrough, what are the packages you have, and generally what kind of projects we do in R. This all is going to be basics, right? We don't spend too much of time here because it is more or less the theoretical part. Here is what we will start. Remember, if you go to SAS, I have only 2 data types, character, numeric, done. Only 2, right? Hardly we spend 30 minutes of the time, we understand everything there. But when it comes to the R or when it comes to Python, both of them, they are very rich in data types, very rich. Integers, floating, long int, right? Then you are going to have the dictionaries, you are going to have the list, you're going to have the matrices. There are plenty of things. You need to understand them. You need to understand them, right? So what are the various connections you have? How to connect to the external world? All these things you are going to discuss under data types, right? All these data types. Here, I'll introduce you to something called SWIL, right? You might be heard, like just sometime back, someone asked me the Shiny, correct? Similar to Shiny, you're going to have something called SWIL, right? This is also kind of a Shiny only, okay, almost. Then, why do you need it? Why do you need it, right? You might be asking that. It is one of the R package for teaching and learning statistics in R. Teaching and learning statistics in R. It is one of the package. If you want to learn R, one of the easiest thing is going to be the SWIL. So that's the reason I just wanted to give you some recommendations on the SWIL as well, how to install it, how to use it. So every lesson, that is end of every module, we do some practical exercises in the SWIL. Okay, so that is kind of a what I can call it as a bonus for you, right? Then programming. So when it comes to the programming, we all know conditional processing. That is nothing but if else. We have if else there. Here also we can go with that. We have functions in SAS. Here also we have the functions. Go ahead with that, right? Then there is one important topic called as binding and scoping. So we understand what is called binding and scoping here. Then we go with date and time. So if you know my syllabus in SAS, you can easily compare it. In my SAS, the first one, I'll start with the introductions. Then we will go ahead with the reading the data from external files, where we talk about all the basics. Then we start with the functions. Then we go with the conditional processing and loops. Then we go with the merges, that is combining the SAS data sets, procedures, proc SQL, macros. That is what we do, 8 modules. So here also, if you see, first we start with the basic understanding. The data types are important. We understand the data types. Then here it is going to be both functions and conditional processing and loops. Third and fourth modules of SAS, here is going to be the third module. Then most of your data in this is going to be data frames. You in and out, you're going to work on the data frames only, right? So we start working on the data frames. What is our data frames? How to create them? How to import and export the data? Then you are going to talk about how to transform the data, right? So data cleaning is one of the most important aspects. How do you do the data cleaning, right? All this kind of stuff we are going to do it under the module number 5. Module number 5 is all about loop functions and how to debug. One of the biggest problem with R is going to be the debugging. How to do the debugging. Then, if you are a clinical SaaS programmer before, you are using TLF, tables, listings, and figures, right? Now, I wanted to implement the tables, listings, and figures means I need to work on the visualizations. All the visualizations we are going to deal it in the module number 6. Here we are going to talk about gplot2, that is one of the package. Then you are also going to talk about tidyverse. You might be heard of tidyverse a lot. It is one of the data science toolbox within R. You are going to use it, right? Here we also talk about some of the advanced topics called smoothing. How do you do the annotation? These annotations are different from what the annotations you are going to do there, and how to store the images by using something called ggSave as well. Now, exclusively we have one module for tidyverse. This module is going to be useful for both the people who are into the clinical as well as for the data science world. Here you're going to talk about what and all you are going to do there, how to import and export the data, how to do the data wrangling, how to create the documentation. Documentation is one of the most important part here. All the proxy SQL concepts that you learn in the SaaS, all of them you are going to implement here. How to do the recoding, renaming, calculation of new columns, summarizing and grouping the data, and also what is your deployer, DPLYR, that also we are going to discuss here. Module number 8 is purely optional. It is purely optional, right? Why I'm saying optional is, if you are purely wanted to concentrate only on the clinical, you don't need to listen module number 8. But if you wanted to get exposed some of the models, what is called simulation in the linear modeling, how to do the random sampling, how to generate the random numbers, how to do the profiling. If you wanted to learn that simulation part, if you want to learn it, then module number 8 is for you. In addition to that, we are also going to do the projects. 2 different projects we are going to do. One project is specifically on the generic ones, that is healthcare and all, healthcare, banking and all. One project we are going to exclusively write one SDTM code, which is my SDTM DM code. I don't know how many of you are aware of it. This is one of my SDTM DM code, which is going to comes around approximately 600 lines of code. This complete 600 lines of SAS code you are going to implement in R programming. You take the spec, you are going to write end to end of this particular code. 459 subjects are there. All these things we are going to implement in R. We are going to implement in R. That is what we are going to do under clinical project, right? So this is about what you wanted to, what you are going to learn as part of this particular course. Anyone, any questions on this? If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer it. Now I come back to the last part. I'm overrunning by 3 minutes. Generally, it is only 1 hour session. I'm overrunning by 3 minutes, but last part is the fee part. Let me also tell you the details of the fee. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of my fee when it comes to the SaaS. You all know that whoever wanted to learn base and advanced SaaS, I'm charging 15,000 for them. You know that already. Only CDS with the help of SaaS, it is going to be 20,000. Anyone, if you feel that Murli, your numbers are different from what you are charging from us, let me know, because I know you know that I maintain transparency. Then if anyone wanted to learn complete clinical with R, with SaaS, complete clinical with SaaS, for them, I'm charging 30K. This is what I have charged for SaaS. Am I correct, guys? Whoever have learned from me, can you confirm it? Right? All the live sessions, this is the price I have charged for you. Now, there is only one change. let's keep all these three as is. This is going to become R. This is going to become complete clinical with R, right? The only difference that I have made here is instead of 50K, I just mentioned it as 20K. And whoever learned from me for the first batch, I'm just going with a flat 5,000 discount. So it will become 15K. So if you are learning R, it is 15K. If you are learning CDISC, it is 20K. CDISC with R. Complete clinical with R for the first batch, it is going to be 30K. Right? If you are not learning from me before, if you haven't know me before, if this is the first time you are going with, it will become 35 because this will become 20, 20, and it will become 35. Right? If you are learning only R programming, you need to shell out 20K. If you are learning only R, but you are a world student of mine, whether you have taken the recordings from me or you have taken the live course from me, in that particular case, you need to spend 15K. These are going to be the charges that I'm charging. And every class of mine will be recorded, and you are going to get all these recordings, and you are going to get a lifetime access in my website. You all know that I have a website, Learn with Murli. Shravanti, what does clinical with R include? These two, R programming with CDISC. End-to-end R programming, whatever the syllabus you have seen, these 8 modules, plus all the CDISC, SDTM, ADAM, and TLF, and SDTM, ADAM, and TLF, we are going to implement in R programming. That's the only difference.
How long would that be, Murli, like with clinical and R?
Okay, let me keep it very straightforward this time. So R programming is definitely going to take 2 months. The complete CDISC, this time I'm going to change a few. So I'm cutting down the total thing to 2.5. So you need to shell out 4.5 months with me. If you want to go end to end, R plus CDISC together. There is no shortcuts, guys. Yeah, there is no shortcuts, guys. There is no fast tracks. I don't believe in fast tracks.
So Murli, will you cover data science related things as well in clinical with R?
No, what kind of data science related things you can expect in clinical?
Dashboard creations and this
Dashboard creation is
visualization.
not data science. It is a data visualization.
Will you cover that part?
No, it is not part of it. See, data visualization can be done by using the tools like Tableau, Power BI, ClickView, ClickSense. Those are not part of R programming. Those are not part of Python. Those are not part of SAS. It's altogether different. It's a visualization.
So can't we create them by using R Shiny?
No, R Shiny, again, I'm telling you, R Shiny, or if you go with the Swill. Okay, good question. Let me talk about it. A dashboard creation is entirely different from graphs. Your graphs and figures are entirely different from dashboards. Both are not same. A dashboard can be done only by using them, not by using Swill, not by using Shiny. Those are low level. They cannot meet the complete demand. I do teach what I can call it as Tableau, but not part of this course. That is a data analyst course. There's a separate course where I handle Tableau, Python, and SQL. These three together I'll handle. That is called data analyst course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Murli, could you please brief me about the difference between R and clinical with R? What will be the difference in that?
Nothing, no difference. Clinical SAS, you are going to implement SDTM, ADAM, and TLF by writing a code like this. This code in SAS, correct?
Yeah.
Clinical with R, that is CDISC with R, instead of writing the code in SAS, you're going to write it in R. That's the difference. No SAS, only in R. If you want to write this kind of code, you need to know R. That is what you are learning here as a R programming. So in R programming, you are going to learn the programming part. And you are going to implement that in the CDISC by learning SDTM, ADAM, and TLF. If you are already an expert in that, let's say that you are already an expert in CDISC, you know SDTM, ADAM, and TLF, and you are already implementing everything in SAS. Learn only R programming and implement that on your own. That would be easy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful. For our clinical, can we also get SAS code comparison? If you want, I can do that because all my SAS codes are already there. But I cannot run through each and every code comparing both SAS and R. I cannot do that because if I want to write this 600 lines of code, people know me already who are in my previous classes. This code takes me around 6 hours of time in the class. So if you want to do both clinical SAS plus clinical R, that is you wanted to write a code in SAS and again write a code in R and compare, it would be difficult for each and every domain. Maybe for one domain, if you want me to do, I can do that, but not for every domain. Clear?
Okay, okay.
So Murli, you like you said earlier, like there are so many packages in R, right?
Mm.
So while explaining R programming, would you be taking us through which packages are mainly used in
Exactly.
clinical
Yeah.
R
Yeah, I will do.
specifically? Like,
I'll
yeah.
do that. I'll do that. And I already covered that in our syllabus also. Tidy ones, dplot, gplot, ggplot, ggsave, whatever is required for the clinical, all of them are already covered in our packages. That is in our syllabus.
Yeah.
I carefully designed that. It is primarily for clinical people.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, wonderful.
Sir,
Yeah, Krishna.
sir, in clinical programming, do we need any kind of visualization tool?
Visualization tools. See,
Do we need
okay.
it?
Okay, a wonderful question. I think it is an extension to the question asked by someone before. Okay, let me tell you. Guys, whoever is talking about the visualizations, tell me, what do you mean by the visualization? No, just I'm trying to understand from your point of view. Anyone?
Like, sir,
Hmm.
we can see the data through figures
In
and
SAS,
understand.
in SAS
Sorry,
also
sir.
you are doing figures, right? That figure is nothing but a dashboard?
Yes, sir.
No. No.
No, I mean, like I have seen jobs in banking, they usually need any kind of Power BI, any kind of visualization tool like Tableau, Power BI. But I haven't seen any job in clinical which asks for this kind of tool.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. See, the kind of visualization that we are going to do, in 1 second. I wanted to show that. Let me see if I have the data. So the kind of visualization, the dashboard is something executing a query. Okay. So the dashboard is a very big one, guys. It is not like what you are expecting. A typical dashboard is going to have a lot of tabs in that. Generally, the dashboards are going to be prepared for the self-serve purpose. Self-serve. Dashboards we are going to prepare for the business. Let's say in banking, maybe I can give you a quick example. Let's say in banking. Let's say I'm a product owner, you are the developer, right? Let's take for an example HDFC Bank. I wanted to see how many I wanted to see regional manager performance. How many life insurance products he have managed, how many general insurance products he managed, and how many new customers he is engaging, how many customers he brought it to the bank this month. I wanted to see these details. Generally, what we do, I'll ask you, hey, you are a developer, right? You're working for me, right? Can you give the data for me? What you are going to do, you are going to run your codes, then you are going to get your final data. You are going to give the data in the Excel format to me. Then I'll go through that and I'll do my visualization or I do my own things. But instead of that, in a dashboard, what we do is we create filters. Okay, from past 3 years, every year, every month, every day, for each of the RM, what kind of queries my product owner is expecting. Let's say I'm a product owner, business user. What kind of data I'm looking for? To meet those requirements, I'm going to create a dashboard. All I'm going to do is I'll come here, I select what data I want, and I take that download of that data and I will leave. That is what I do. That is what we do as part of your visualization, right? A dashboard preparation is entirely different from the graphs or the figures that you are doing in the clinical or any other. No comparison at all. You require a high-end tool like Tableau or Power BI or ClickView or ClickSense. Only then you can do it. You cannot do that by using, the packages like Diploor or the packages like ggplot and all. No, not possible. Not possible. All right. So maybe just I'll show you something how the visualization is going to be. So a simple bar plot, right? If I want, I can add colors to that. I can add different ways of handling the data. So you can see that just in a 1 second, I just have created a simple bar plot, which is talking about, what is going to be the sales for each of the region. Now, if I want to say that each of this particular region, I wanted to go with the subcategory as well. Then I just wanted to add some colors to it. I can add some colors. Right? I can change the way how I'm visualizing this particular data. Right? A visualization and creating a dashboard is a very, very, very different thing than what we are thinking or what we are doing in the regular one. No comparison at all. Generally, in the clinical, we don't create the dashboards. We only create the graphs and basic visuals, not the dashboards. That huge requirement will not come in clinical. Questions? Anyone?
So dashboards are not going to be included in our programming, right, Murli?
You don't get that requirement. If you really need that particular requirement, we can go, but it is our programming is not for that. That's what I'm trying to say.
So clinical sponsors also are asking for dashboards nowadays. Currently, in one organization, they're asking for dashboards.
You need to have the conjunction with any of the tools. See, this is one of the typical dashboard. This kind of infographics you generally don't get in R. If you have a requirement, then we need to adopt any of these. Power BI or Tableau you need to use. Whatever the final data frames you are using, that final data frames you are going to supply to your Tableau or Power BI or ClickView, and we can start using it. You can create the graphs, but not the kind of dashboards that you can see here. Are you getting my point, right?
Yes.
Yeah, a typical dashboard is going to be like this. This kind of requirements you generally get it in, you don't get it in clinical. See, we need to be practical at one point. I always say this. Always there are going to be the requirements. I want this, I want that. The requirement is always there. But why do you want it? What is the exact requirement for you? That is also equally important, right? We also need to stick with that. Maybe I'll just show you the typical dashboards. Typical dashboards. Just go to the images. See, these are kind of dashboards, performance, what I can call it as bar charts, pie charts, scatter plots. You don't get these kind of requirements in clinical. See, this kind of infographics you never get. If there is really a requirement, yes, you should go for it. But you need to adopt. You need to adopt. These are the dashboards. Heat maps. This is heat map. Right? Questions? Any other questions from anyone? This link will be worked for the next 5 days also, guys. Till Sunday, the same link will be there. Our classes are going to be from Monday to Friday. But for the initial classes, the first 5 classes, I'll take till Sunday. 5 classes you can listen. After listening to the 5 classes, if you want to enroll, you can continue to enroll. Right? You can pay the fee and you can continue with that. Right? First 5 days, absolutely free. You can take a decision after asking all the questions, after getting clarity for all your questions, then only you can take a decision. All right?
So only one more question from my side.
Go ahead.
So I'm well knowing about CDs. Just I want to know the R programming and I want to implement in the CDs. Then I only choosing R programming is fine.
More than sufficient.
Okay.
More than sufficient. And I can also help you with converting a one end-to-end SDTM code with R. So that there itself you'll get 100% clarity how to work on it.
Is there any, apart from the STTM, will you provide any Adam or TLF's code for that? I don't want STTM. If in case I don't want STTM, will you provide the Adam and TLF codes?
TLF I do one, but Adam I don't do
Okay.
it because it's going to be a time consuming one. TLFs are very simple. Definitely we do. Definitely we do. Okay. But if you're very specific, let's say Ratna, you're very specific about going with Adam, let's do one code in Adam also. Nothing wrong in that. Okay.
Okay. And also, will you cover dplayer all the, entire package of the dplayer or only Tediverse?
Tediverse is different and
No, both are different. You have mentioned that you will cover about the Tediverse package and knowing about that this thing dplayer. So what my question is, will you cover entire thing of the dplayer package?
the problem with this is the moment if I hear the word called entire, that definitely scares me when it comes to R and Python because there is no boundaries in that. There's no boundaries. But I can ensure you one thing. You ask me anything, I can help you with it. I will cover what is required, right? Beyond that, you ask me anything, I can help you with it. The same thing I'll do for all the SaaS people also. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with the requirement of all the people. Then anything addition you require, fire at me. I can help you.
Yeah, sure. And this ggplot package is the only the thing we are going to use for the TLF creations. Is there any other packages we will use for the TLF creations?
It will cover most of them, but still, if you require to go ahead with that, that's what is required, I'm going with. If you need anything else, help me. Let me know what you need.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thanks.
Can we add Python as well? If yes, what is the fee for that? See, Python codes, okay, learning Python alone will not suffice. I'll tell you the reason for it. Python will be used in 4 different areas exclusively. Python for data analysis, Python for data science, Python for data engineering, and Python for machine learning completely. Right? Or generative AI, I can say 4 different tracks. Python, you always need to learn for the tracks. Based on the tracks you need to learn. So you need to fix what track you want first. If your track is looking for Python as a data analyst, then you need to learn Python, SQL, and Tableau together, or Python, SQL, and Power BI together. This is the flow. Track you need to learn. Learning only Python will not help you anywhere. Right? So the entire package of Python, SQL, and Tableau together is 20,000. It's a 2.5 months course. There is no batch right now. There is no batch right now. So we completed 3 different batches already, but there is no new batch yet. Time constraints. But definitely I'll let you know if there is any new batch. All right.
Sure.
Questions? All right, guys. Thank you for the interactive session, for asking questions. Tomorrow we can meet and we can start with a quick comparison of SAS, R, and Python, and then we can start with what are the things that are required, how to go with the installation of R, and we can go ahead with the module number 1. Okay. Whoever requires anything, just please let me know what I can call it as. Course content, the syllabus. If you need it, just drop me a message. I can just share it across. Yes, Rahul, I saw your message. I'll send it.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Perfect. Sure, got it. I think done. Shrivani, done. I heard you. Thanks. Okay, course content, I'm going to share it across to all of you. Whoever dropped an email already, I have shared it. Reminding people, just ping me in WhatsApp, I can share it across. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you, Murli. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Murli.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.